Yes, sir. I agree.
All right, now you're both trying to distract me, and it's not gonna work.
Everything we thought we knew about Heartland has just changed. Episode 9 didn't just raise the stakes, it shattered them. And now, with the season 19 finale only moments away, every character stands on the edge of a life-changing decision. Secrets are breaking open, old wounds are returning, and the Heartland family is about to face one of the hardest tests of their lives. So let's dive into the moment that shocked everyone. The moment Georgie walked back through those doors, Georgie's return to Heartland should have felt warm, joyful, and full of hope. But the truth is far more heartbreaking. When she finally stepped back into the family's life, there was something different behind her smile, something heavy she was trying to hide. Everyone expected Georgie to return engaged to Quinn, maybe even ready to start a brand new chapter. Even Lou had imagined that Georgie might walk in with a ring on her finger. Instead, the exact opposite happened. Georgie revealed that she and Quinn had broken up, and the silence that followed showed just how painful this was for her. What hurt even more was learning that Quinn hasn't answered any of her calls, leaving Georgie stranded in a place between regret and heartbreak. Her voice shook as she tried to explain, but deep down, she didn't need to say much at all. Her pain was clear. This wasn't a simple breakup. This was the kind of loss that changes a person. Yet even in the middle of that pain, something beautiful happened. Georgie and Katie shared a quiet moment that reminded fans why their bond matters so much. Seeing them laugh, talk, and support each other felt like a breath of fresh air in an episode full of tension. Katie didn't ask too many questions or push Georgie to open up. Instead, she just stayed beside her, the way a sister would. And for the first time since returning, Georgie seemed to relax, even if just for a moment. It made us realize how much we've missed seeing these two together, and how strong the Heartland family really is when someone needs help. But there is something deeper happening with Georgie, something more than a breakup. She didn't just come home to heal. She came back because she had a mission: to ride Phoenix in the Spring View Grand Prix, the event she has been dreaming about for years. Yet even this hope was shaken when she found out that Phoenix was stuck in travel quarantine. When Georgie heard the news, the disappointment on her face was impossible to ignore. She had returned home with so many emotions already weighing her down, and now her dream race might slip through her fingers too. But if there is one thing we know about Georgie, it's that she never gives up easily. And with Amy by her side, anything is possible. Still, the emotional storm inside Georgie is far from over. You can feel that she is fighting two battles, one with Phoenix's uncertain future and another inside her own heart. And as episode 10 approaches, the question becomes impossible to ignore. Will Georgie find the strength to rise again, or will this be the moment that breaks her spirit? One thing is certain: her story is far from finished, and the finale may change everything. Things took a dark turn in episode 9. And the truth is, no one was prepared for how dangerous the situation with the rustlers would become. At first, it seemed simple: install cameras, tighten security, keep an eye out. But the moment the rustlers realized they were being watched, everything exploded. Their anger, their desperation, their complete lack of fear suddenly made the entire ranch feel unsafe. And then came the moment that stopped every viewer in their tracks: Jack stepping forward to confront them. He has faced trouble before. He has stood against danger more times than anyone can count. But this time was different. Watching Jack get shoved to the ground, watching that shock flash across his face, felt like the whole world tilted for a second. This wasn't just a threat anymore. This was an attack on the heart of Heartland. The silence that followed his fall was heavier than any dialogue. You could almost feel everyone's fear wrap around the scene like a tight rope. Thankfully, Jack wasn't seriously hurt, but the message was clear: these rustlers weren't playing games. And then the truth hit even harder. These weren't random thieves or strangers passing through. They were the same people responsible for some of the most painful moments in the family's recent history: the attempted kidnapping of Spartan and the burning of the barn. Suddenly, all those old wounds reopened at once. Amy's heartbreak, Jack's anger, the sleepless nights this family had endured. It all came rushing back. It was no longer about stolen cattle. It was about justice, protection, and unfinished business. And while the police promised help, their delay only made the situation feel more hopeless. Waiting was no longer an option. That's when Jack, Lou, and Nathan made the decision that could change everything. They would go to the rustlers' hideout themselves. No backup, no guarantee. Just determination and the hope that doing something was better than doing nothing. As they prepared to leave, the fear on their faces mixed with something else: resolve. These are people who have faced storms, loss, and danger before, but this time felt personal. Lou tried to stay calm, yet you could see the fear in her eyes as she realized just how serious this mission could become. Nathan, usually steady and collected, was tense in a way we rarely see. And Jack, he carried the weight of every memory, every loss, every person he has ever protected. The thought of him walking into danger again left fans uneasy, because deep down, we all know Jack is not invincible. Now, everything hangs in the balance. Episode 10 will reveal how this confrontation ends, but the possibilities are terrifying. Maybe they recover the cattle without a fight, maybe. Or maybe a violent clash breaks out, putting lives at risk. And the worst thought of all is the one fans don't want to say out loud. What if someone doesn't come back unharmed? The rustlers have pushed this family too far, and forgiveness may no longer be an option. Whatever happens next will shake Heartland to its core, and the fallout will reach every corner of the ranch. The finale is building towards something explosive. And the question is no longer if danger is coming, it's who will pay the price when it does. In the middle of all the danger and heartbreak, something unexpected happened, something gentle, quiet, and almost healing. Amy and Gracie, two women whose connection was shaped by years of misunderstanding and unspoken history, finally faced the truth that had been sitting between them for far too long. At first, their interactions felt stiff, like they were both carrying a heavy weight neither one wanted to drop. But the moment Amy learned the truth about her mother, and Gracie the mistakes, the regrets, the complicated emotions, it was as if a locked door suddenly opened. For years, Amy has carried Marion's memory like a guide, a strength, but also a mystery. To hear Gracie speak openly about the past, to hear her admit the things she wished she had done differently, added a new layer to everything Amy thought she understood. And surprisingly, it didn't push them apart. It brought them closer. What made this moment so powerful was its simplicity. There were no harsh words, no dramatic arguments, just two people recognizing the pain in each other, acknowledging it, and choosing to let it soften them. Gracie, who had always seemed guarded and strict, revealed a side of herself that most viewers never expected. A part of her had always been weighed down by old choices, old moments she wished she could rewrite. And for Amy, hearing that Gracie and Marion both carried regrets created an emotional bridge she didn't know she needed. It was almost like she gained a new understanding of her mother, not from stories or memories, but through someone who had lived through those moments with her. As they stood together, it felt like the beginning of a bond that would shape the future, not just patch up the past. Amy's voice softened, Gracie's eyes warmed, and suddenly the tension that once defined their dynamic melted away. For the first time, Amy didn't see Gracie as a threat or a mirror of old pain. She saw her as someone human, flawed, but deeply connected to the Heartland story. And Gracie, in return, looked at Amy not as Marion's daughter, but as her own person, a woman building her own path with courage and honesty. The moment didn't need dramatic music or loud emotion. Its power came from the quiet understanding between them, the kind that grows slowly but stays forever. This new bond doesn't just affect Amy and Gracie, it affects the entire Heartland family. With so much chaos surrounding them, this emotional shift brings something Heartland desperately needs: healing. As the finale approaches, it's clear that forgiveness isn't just a theme of the episode, it's becoming the heartbeat of the season. And now that Amy and Gracie have finally let down their walls, it feels like the beginning of a stronger, deeper connection that will carry into the next chapter of their lives. In a season filled with danger, heartbreak, and uncertainty, this quiet moment of understanding may be the thing that gives Amy the strength she needs for what comes next. Dex's journey in episode 9 felt like watching someone slowly lose control of their own life, even as everyone around him tried desperately to pull him back. At the start of the season, there was hope, real hope, that Dex might finally break free from his old habits and build something better. Jack believed in him more than anyone, giving him chance after chance, pushing him forward when Dex couldn't even push himself. But somewhere along the way, Dex stopped listening. He slid back into familiar patterns, skipping training, ignoring responsibilities, and choosing River over the hard work he was supposed to be doing. And each time he made a bad decision, it felt like the ground beneath him cracked just a little more. The moment he punched Shim, who only came to apologize, everything Dex had been warned about suddenly came crashing down. There were no excuses left, no second chances waiting in the shadows. He had crossed a line, and the door he had been struggling to keep open finally shut. Watching Jack tell him he had to leave again didn't feel angry, it felt heartbreaking. Like watching someone lose faith in a dream they fought so hard to protect. What made Dex's downfall even harder to watch was the way he treated Katie. Katie, who stepped forward with more maturity than anyone expected, tried to apologize for judging him too quickly. She tried to meet him halfway, to show him kindness even when he didn't deserve it. But Dex reacted with frustration, defensiveness, and a bitterness that revealed how lost he truly is. It wasn't Katie he was angry at, it was himself. And yet, his frustration pushed her away in a moment when she was offering understanding, something Dex desperately needed. It became painfully clear that he is still trapped in the mindset of his old life, unable to break free from the anger and fear that haunt him. And the worst part is that he doesn't even realize how much he's hurting people who genuinely care. For Jack, this wasn't just about discipline. This was a deeper disappointment. Jack has always been the kind of man who sees potential where others see problems. He invests in people. He tries to guide them, shape them, and give them the strength they don't have yet. But even Jack has limits. Watching Dex throw away every piece of advice, every opportunity, and every ounce of trust was like watching Jack's patience slowly turn into sadness. You could see it in his eyes. He wasn't angry at Dex for failing. He was hurt because he knew Dex could have succeeded. And now, with the finale approaching, Jack is facing one of the hardest decisions he's made in a long time. Does he shut the door on Dex forever, or does he find it in his heart to give him one final chance? The title of the finale, Forgiveness, suddenly feels heavier when you think about Dex. Can someone who keeps making the same mistakes be forgiven again? Should they be? Or is forgiveness sometimes the thing that finally teaches someone to change? Deep down, fans are torn. Dex has potential, heart, and a desire to be better. But desire isn't enough. Not anymore. And as the season reaches its end, his future hangs in a delicate balance held between Jack's compassion and Dex's own self-destruction. Episode 10 may be Dex's last chance to prove he is worth saving. As we move toward the season 19 finale, the theme of forgiveness isn't just a title, it's the force pulling every storyline toward a breaking point. The official synopsis hints at Georgie facing the truth about Phoenix, the rustlers finally being revealed, and the Heartland family confronting decisions that could reshape their futures. But beneath these simple lines lies something far more intense. Georgie's storyline stands at a crossroads as she waits to learn Phoenix's condition. The fear in her eyes every time someone mentions the quarantine says everything she can't bring herself to voice. If Phoenix is sick, her dream of riding in the Spring View Grand Prix may vanish before it even begins. And yet, Amy's presence gives a spark of hope. She has worked miracles before, and if anyone can help Phoenix find the strength to compete again, it's Amy. But the finale won't make it easy. It never does. Georgie may have to choose between pushing forward or accepting a painful truth. And that choice could define her entire journey moving into the next season. Then we turn to the darkest thread of the story, the confrontation with the rustlers. Jack, Lou, and Nathan riding out alone might be the boldest and most dangerous decision we've seen all season. So much could go wrong, and the tension around it feels like a storm waiting to hit. The rustlers are unpredictable, reckless, and desperate, and their past crimes show just how far they're willing to go. The finale may finally reveal their identities, But the reveal won't be the shocking part, it will be what happens immediately after. Will Jack's group get the cattle back peacefully, or will their mission spiral into violence? There's a chilling thought lingering in every fan's mind: someone could get hurt. The emotional stakes are too high, and the finale feels like it's building toward a scene that will leave the audience breathless. The title Forgiveness raises another question. Is forgiveness even possible for people who have caused so much harm? Or is the finale setting up a moment where the Heartland family must decide between justice and mercy? But perhaps the most surprising storyline in episode 10 centers on Nathan. The ranch offer on the island seemed like a random detail at first, something mentioned in passing. But now, looking at how the season has built his relationship with Amy, it no longer feels random at all. It feels intentional. Amy and Nathan have begun speaking about the future, not just days ahead, but years ahead. They've talked about marriage, about home, and about building a new life together. And with the island ranch offer still on the table, a quiet possibility begins to form. What if Nathan sees the finale as the moment to make everything official? What if heartbreak, danger, and healing all push him toward one decision: proposing to Amy? The idea of a proposal at the end of such an emotionally heavy season almost feels like the relief the audience has been waiting for. After everything Amy has endured, after all the darkness this family has walked through, a moment of pure love would feel like a breath of air the entire show desperately needs. Whether it happens or not, the finale is planting seeds. And fans are already imagining what season 20 could look like if wedding plans become part of the story. So as episode 10 approaches, every storyline is tightening, every emotion is rising, and every character stands on the edge of a decision that could change their path forever. Forgiveness, love, danger, consequences, everything is about to collide in one final hour that promises to shake Heartland in ways we have never seen before. And maybe, just maybe, the finale will leave us with a moment of hope after a season filled with heartbreak. If there is one thing Heartland has taught its viewers over the years, it's that the biggest twists don't always come with loud explosions or dramatic reveals. Sometimes they come quietly, slipping into the story at the moment when characters are most vulnerable. And that is exactly what episode 10 feels like it's building toward. While the rustlers' confrontation promises danger and Georgie's struggle promises heartbreak, the season's final twist may come from a place no one expects: the future. When Nathan mentioned the opportunity to buy a ranch on an island, it didn't seem like a seed of anything larger. But now, looking back, it feels like a quiet setup for something life-changing. Amy and Nathan have survived misunderstanding, distance, responsibility, and fear. They have reached a place where marriage is not just a dream, it's a real possibility sitting right in front of them. So imagine, for a moment, the finale ending not with chaos or tragedy, but with hope. Imagine Nathan, after facing danger with Jack and Lou, returning home with a new understanding of what truly matters. Maybe that brush with danger forces him to stop hesitating, to stop waiting for the perfect moment, and to finally speak from the heart. The ranch offer could become a symbol, a promise of a new beginning, a home they build together far from the shadows of the past. And in a season filled with loss, fear, and emotional storms, a proposal unexpected, quiet, but deeply genuine could be the twist that leaves viewers stunned in the best possible way. But twists are never simple in Heartland. If Nathan does propose, Amy must choose. Her life is rooted in Heartland, in the land her mother loved, in the horses she's healed, in the memories she carries like a gentle weight. Moving on to a new place, a new chapter would not just be a romantic decision. It would change everything. It would shift the family dynamic, reshape her role on the ranch, and redefine her identity. And that's why this potential proposal doesn't feel like a fairy tale moment. It feels like a crossroads. A choice between holding on to what she has always known and stepping into something unknown but full of promise. Heartland finales often end with emotional impact, but this time, the impact may come from the quiet possibility of change. And for the first time in a long time, Amy might have to decide what kind of future she truly wants. As for the rest of the family, the finale will leave ripples that carry straight into season 20. Georgie's heartbreak, Jack's confrontation with danger, Dex's uncertain path, and Gracie's emotional growth, they are threads that will not tie themselves neatly by the final scene. Heartland doesn't wrap stories with perfect bows. It leaves doors cracked open, emotions unfinished, and choices lingering in the air. And that is exactly why episode 10 feels so important. It isn't just ending a season, it's setting the stage for a new one built on forgiveness, transformation, and the courage to face whatever comes next. So when the screen fades to black, viewers may not get every answer, but they will feel the weight of every moment, every risk, every whispered hope. And they will know that something big is coming, not just for the characters, but for the heart of Heartland itself.